Hi, gang. Here we go once again. This is the people as a source of presidential power, and a few pieces of information you need before we get started. Number one, the Founding Fathers visualized the presidency as having fewer responsibilities than today's presidency. Fewer responsibilities. Number two, expansion of the executive branch. Since 1939, since FDR, the New Deal, has affected separation of powers by increasing presidential control over the legislative process. So the presidents have been more influential in what laws are made. And three, shared with others, the presidency or executive branch has shared with other branches of government responsibilities and powers as it was intended to by the Constitution, as part of the Madisonian system of checks and balances. Okay. All right. The bully pulpit. This was a term coined by Teddy Roosevelt, and it just means that presidents can get the nation's attention whenever they want to, whereas Congress might have more difficulty getting the attention of the nation. The president can address the entire nation because the president represents the entire nation, not just one state. So they use the media to do this and press conferences. And when they do this, they are increasing public support for policies they want to see passed, for their viewpoint on various issues that they want the public to back. And they also often deal with divided government, which we've talked about already, which is when one party controls Congress and the president is of a different party, or when one of the two houses of Congress is of a different party than the president. Remember that the political resource that has the most potential to turn a stalemate between the president and Congress, which is like a standoff between the president and Congress, is public approval. So when the president needs to, he will turn to the people.
Terry, do you point out that works?
Sorry, little interruption. Here we go. We know the honeymoon period is usually early in the president's administration. They talk a lot about the first 100 days. You'll hear Hillary Clinton talking about that, I think more so than we're hearing Trump talk about that, of policies they want passed. And one of her goals, if she's elected in her first 100 days, is to get a major immigration bill passed. It's just a time when the president, the new president, is liked by the nation. Obviously, they elected her or him. When the new president is supposedly going to do their best to put their best foot forward with Congress, and Congress will do the same. So that's the honeymoon period. It wears off. Approval rating, percentage who say they approve or strongly approve of the way the president is doing his or her job. And then rally around the flag effect is peaks in approval ratings after a major crisis, military action. Another thing I want to talk to you about here is the electoral mandate. This usually has a positive effect on the president's level of support in Congress. It simply means that the people voted for whoever is going to win the presidency. Therefore, they support his or her policy stand and plans they have to move the nation forward for the economy, for jobs, for college tuition, all of that. So they claim to have an electoral mandate. It's not anything official, but they like to say that, and Congress does tend to support a new president when they claim to have an electoral mandate. Okay, technology and media. We know FDR used radio, Kennedy used television. These were like the first. Obama, social networking, the internet, texting, Twitter, Instagram. Spin. What is spin? Spin is putting news in a favorable light. So if something bad happens, it's a way of turning it around, and you have writers who do this for you if you are in the public eye, and they can interpret or reinterpret something that happens and make it look good or better than bad. So campaigns do this to keep their candidate in a favorable light. And sometimes the spin is they just say those people are lying who said these bad things about me. That didn't really happen. Evolution of presidential power. Jefferson was a party leader, claimed to have inherent powers as president. One of those involved making the Louisiana Purchase. So it stretched the meaning of the Constitution and the power of the president. Jackson, party leader, also a populist, the people's president. FDR, with the New Deal, dramatically changed people's views of the role of the federal government. At that time, the federal government, through the New Deal, offered what is like a safety net to help people with surviving the Great Depression and to help widows of those who had died in World War II with Social Security. And the federal government had to not grow, but grow larger to administer New Deal programs. So the federal government began growing, meaning the bureaucracy, which is controlled by the president. So then we're talking about increasing presidential power. Then came Watergate. Watergate badly wounded trust in government. The modern president now has replaced Congress as the center of federal power, but with Watergate, the modern president did a bad thing. And the American public realized that we can't always trust our government. So it was Watergate and it was Vietnam that caused this lack of trust or loss of trust in our government by the American people. The imperial presidency, it simply means a powerful president surrounded by deeply loyal advisors. With the expansion of the executive branch, there's been, like I've said at the beginning of this, increasing presidential control over the legislative process. And that's part of what is meant by the imperial presidency. Imperial, almost like a king. So that's really all you need to know about it right now. We can dig deeper into this in May. Impeachment, checks on presidential abuses of power. Andrew Johnson was impeached. Clinton was impeached. Nixon resigned before being impeached. What does it mean to be impeached? To be impeached only means that charges have been brought against you. The House of Representatives brings those charges. Now, to see if you are indicted and found guilty, they have a trial in the Senate. And the trial is led by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. It is held in the Senate. And if you are found guilty in the Senate trial, then you are removed from office. Bill Clinton was not removed from office. Okay, that's it for this PowerPoint. One more.